Welcome to M2P Biography. Today, I will tell you the inspiring story of Che Guevara, a revolutionary leader whose life became a symbol of resistance and the fight for justice around the world. Visionary revolutionary or ruthless guerrilla leader? Che Guevara remains one of the most polarizing figures in history. Today, we explore the extraordinary life of Ernesto Che Guevara, a man who shaped the course of revolutions and continues to inspire debates about justice, freedom, and power. This is Che Guevara's story. Ernesto Guevara de la Serna was born on June 14, 1928, in Rosario, Argentina, into a middle-class family of Irish and Basque descent. From a young age, Ernesto was intellectually curious and passionate about literature and philosophy, a passion that would later shape his ideological worldview. His family was politically liberal, instilling in him a sense of social justice. Plagued by chronic asthma, young Ernesto found solace in reading, particularly works on Marxism, history, and the plights of the oppressed. Despite his health issues, he grew up an adventurous spirit, excelling academically and later enrolling in the University of Buenos Aires to study medicine, driven by a desire to help those less fortunate. In 1951, Ernesto Guevara's life took a decisive turn when he embarked on a journey across Latin America with his friend Alberto Granado. The two set off on a motorcycle to explore the vast, varied, and often impoverished lands of the continent. This journey, later immortalized in his memoir The Motorcycle Diaries, was the catalyst that opened Che's eyes to the deep-seated social inequalities plaguing the region. During this trip, Che witnessed firsthand the misery and exploitation endured by peasants and workers, and he began to develop the belief that only armed revolution could bring true justice to the oppressed. His medical ambitions took a back seat as his political convictions started to form. After completing his studies, Che traveled throughout Central America, but it was in Mexico in 1955 that his revolutionary destiny took shape. There, he met Fidel Castro and his brother Raúl, who were organizing a movement to overthrow the Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista. Guevara, inspired by the opportunity to fight for social justice, joined the cause. As part of the 26th of July movement, Che quickly rose through the ranks, not only as a physician for the rebels but also as a strategist and combat leader. His leadership in the Sierra Maestra Mountains helped the group carry out successful attacks against Batista's forces. After 2 years of guerrilla warfare, the movement succeeded in ousting Batista on January 1, 1959, marking the birth of a new Cuba, with Fidel Castro as its leader and Che Guevara as a key figure in the revolutionary government. After the revolution, Guevara held several critical roles in the new Cuban government. He became the head of the National Institute of Agrarian Reform, overseeing the redistribution of land to peasants. He was also appointed president of the National Bank and later Minister of Industry. Guevara played a key role in shaping Cuba's economic policy, favoring rapid industrialization and the nationalization of major industries. He spearheaded Cuba's literacy campaign, which drastically reduced illiteracy in the country. However, Che's uncompromising Marxist ideology and his preference for rapid changes made him a controversial figure even within Cuba. Though admired for his tireless work ethic, Che's economic policies were not always successful, and his hardline stance sometimes clashed with other leaders, including Fidel Castro. Che Guevara's revolutionary ambitions were not confined to Cuba. He believed in the global struggle against imperialism and capitalism. He traveled extensively, representing Cuba at international forums and fostering relations with leaders in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. In 1965, Guevara left Cuba to lead a group of guerrilla fighters in the Congo, hoping to ignite a revolution in Africa. But this mission was ultimately unsuccessful, hindered by internal divisions and a lack of local support. Despite the failure, Che remained undeterred. He set his sights on Bolivia, where he hoped to ignite a revolution that would spread throughout Latin America. In 1966, Guevara covertly entered Bolivia, determined to begin a new revolutionary movement. However, the mission faced overwhelming odds from the start. His group was isolated, cut off from external support, and found little local backing. The Bolivian army, aided by the CIA, eventually tracked down Guevara's group. On October 8, 1967, he was captured in the remote village of La Higuera. The next day, he was executed by the Bolivian army. Che Guevara's last words were reportedly, "Shoot, coward, you are only going to kill a man." He was 39 years old. Though Che Guevara's life was cut short, his legacy endures. His image, immortalized in photographs and posters, remains a symbol of rebellion and resistance. For some, he is a hero who fought against imperialism and for the oppressed. For others, he is a controversial figure whose methods were often brutal and unforgiving. Love him or hate him, Che Guevara remains one of the most iconic figures of the 20th century, a symbol of revolutionary spirit and defiance against injustice. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Che Guevara. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth stories about the people who shaped history.